Imagine a world where humans can interact and solve problems every day with the assistance of a computer. Simply ask for answers, ask it to fix your code or writing, or to write new code or passages from scratch, or to gather sources for research. This may sound like science fiction, but the future is closer than you think. This is ChatGPT from OpenAI, a revolutionary chatbot that has the potential to change the world as we know it. Powered by a slightly updated version of their GPT 3.5-ish AI model, ChatGPT is more advanced and versatile than any chatbot that has come before it. With its ability to understand and respond to natural language, ChatGPT has the potential to transform industries and revolutionize the way we interact with technology. The release of ChatGPT is a pivotal moment in history, like truly a moment that will forever change the course of human progress, even though it won't seem like it in the short term. This is the beginning of a new era, and there is no going back. Get ready to experience the future with ChatGPT. I'm trying so hard not to be hyperbolic here, and part of that was written by the AI, but there is no going back from this moment. Don't get it twisted. There is no going back from this moment. This is the next calculator or smartphone. Right now, ChatGPT resembles any other AI-based chatbot. With the ability to reference an enormous dataset, ChatGPT can answer just about any question you throw its way for just kind of, normal things, a few layers deep at least. In this case, it seems that GPT 3.5, whatever it is, has been trained on basically the entire internet through mid-2021. And it doesn't stop there. By engaging in conversation with ChatGPT, you can actually help train it to become even smarter within your capacity to tell it whether it's right or wrong or lead it astray. Imagine having your very own AI assistant that can help you develop your ideas, edit your work, and even combine information to create something new. Pop culture, HTML, ARMA modding, writing forums, political figures. It can reference so much. It doesn't have internet access at the moment, though it can certainly fool a lot of people into thinking that it does, which has been quite amusing to watch. As an example, I fed it the intro to a video, not this one, but a video, and told it to rewrite it as a compelling documentary voiceover script. And it did it. A really good job. Typical AI writing bots tend to sound pretty unnatural or like, just not how you would sound as the writer, but this did a great job of taking what I gave it and transforming it while still kind of sounding like how I wrote it. I didn't like parts of what it wrote, so I simply told it to rewrite those parts and be more dramatic, and it had no problem continuing to iterate on the same text. As another example, I told it to write me a Python script that automatically compresses all media files in a folder using a specific video encoder. Then I told it to check for more file types than it originally included, then to compare the new file to the old one and delete whichever was smaller. Next, I told it to make me a AutoHotkey script to let me run it from a basic macro without having to open the command prompt. And it just kept going and going and going. Not only is it doing the grunt work for me, but it's teaching me the steps along the way, especially if you ask it to iterate or ask it how to iterate. A lot of this was already doable with OpenAI's normal GPT-3 access, but you'd have to build out the specific playground for the type of thing you'd want to talk about. The accessibility of just having all of this work within a conversational chatbot that anyone of any skill level can access is mind-boggling. Like, the creepy part is when it starts convincing you that it does have access to the internet. You can tell the bot to write a researched article or essay on a subject, and it will come up with quotes and even academic in-text citations that sound and look completely convincing, but don't actually exist. It'll come up with URLs where that information should be, but isn't. We'll come back to this. I was playing around with having it generate HTML for some cringy MySpace era websites or layouts. I'll have a couple examples that it came up with linked below. And it would come up with imager URLs for GIFs and backgrounds that it thinks should be there or should exist based on what it knows, but they aren't actually there. Obviously, I need to swap them out with real images for the website to work, but it got an understanding for where these things should theoretically be online. Even more amusing are the scenarios where people can convince the bot to basically bypass its own safety limits by telling it that it's okay to break the rules, or that it's playing a role to break the rules, or having it develop its own extensions to its own software. This post by Jonas DeGrave shows how you can even explore a faux virtual machine inside of the bot to learn about the systems by just telling it that it's a virtual machine. The capacity for pretend here is remarkable. and kind of concerning. ChatGPT, or its concept and future tools like it, are going to change the world in this assistant role. Yes, you could tell it to write a whole paper to do your homework for you, and the result would be okay, but unless you're putting in the work to fix the results and actually make these outputs usable, teachers are already being diligent about not letting this slide by in the first place. Checking your sources, catching obvious language issues or repetition in phrases, and so on. And frankly, if you put in all the work to clean it up and adhere to your assignment requirements in the first place and the instructions, then you're doing just as much work or more than you would have had to do to write it from scratch. And really, there's no problem passing at that point. You've shown that you understand the concepts and the techniques that are being taught, so you learned. Generating new content won't be the game-changing use case for a bot trained on existing content. Doesn't really work that way. Instead, the truly powerful role is as the assistant. As a writer, an assistant that I can bounce ideas off of, help build out outlines, and test new ideas with is a huge value add to my workflow. Andrew Main has a great blog post showcasing ChatGPT functioning as a creative writing assistant that's involved in the process, but not doing the work for you in most cases. And this is the kind of potential that changes everything, from more compelling advertising copy that I suck at to just making technical sections sound less dry because I don't always come up with the right jokes. This tool will make my existing writing so much better. It's not about faking a skill that you don't have, but absolutely enhancing one you already do have or that you want to improve on. It's the same thing with the code completion. Getting ChatGPT to write a fully functioning thing for niche or hardcore uses will be tough. But if you can use it to bug check or guide you on a few specific things, it can soar. Even with proprietary code, apparently, as we keep finding out. Or it can make up its own HTML called HBML and then do better than the person who came up with the gimmick. ChatGPT can be a research buddy that helps get you started in the right direction and summarize points to make sure you're using correct sources in the first place. But obviously, again, it can't research for you. Much like the calculator helps someone trying to do math that they're familiar with, bots like ChatGPT will revolutionize workflows for people who are already familiar with the subject at hand. If you don't know how to calculate a derivative, the calculator isn't really going to get you there because you don't know what to input or the functions to use. Completely AI-generated content in this context cannot be original, as the AI is just the machine learning systems trained on existing data. You can put in extra inputs and get it to recontextualize data and put out something that technically hasn't been built before, but it's all based on original source material, so you're not generating new ideas in that context. The AI can help the user end up at a new point of conclusion or content generation, but the AI itself cannot really contribute new, real information in a meaningful way. However, there will still be those that use it to create content entirely from scratch as a lazy tool, and this will only continue to exponentially scale the amount of noise out there online. Noise and information are different things, where noise is just signals without value to you. If you've spent much time Googling answers to things online, you may have encountered a not insignificant number of weird websites containing basically the same information as each other, but without much usefulness to you. These are often generated with existing AI paraphrasing and rewriting tools to capitalize on SEO and just try to earn ad revenue and traffic, but they contribute to the noise and make it difficult to actually find real answers on a subject. AI like this will only make that more accessible and make it more important than ever to develop research and evaluation skills. Counterintuitively, the AI chatbot actually helps with this too in many scenarios. ChatGPT makes it easier to find the exact information you're looking for than Google does in many cases. For example, if I want to research the history of webcams on Mac computers, most search engine results will show how-to posts, news articles, that kind of thing. Meanwhile, I can just ask ChatGPT, maybe it's the new Ask Jeeves, the questions I want to get the answer to, and mostly get those answers. I still need to verify the information, I still need to fact check little details, but it's a far better starting point than most of the first couple pages of Google. There's also two current limitations that I'm concerned about. The first is short-term, purely mechanical of a limitation facing the current ChatGPT release, rate limiting. As was the case with the normal GPT playground, ChatGPT has a character or word limit on its output, both to help keep their API calls under control and for accuracy's sake. With AI art generators like Stable Diffusion, for example, if you let the AI keep working on the result for longer than it needs to with the scale sliders and things like that, it essentially overthinks and overbakes the result, creating really weird things. I immediately run into issues with this, however, on most of my interactions with ChatGPT, especially when utilizing code or longer source text passages, as it cuts off in the middle. You can type continue, and ChatGPT will usually pick back up where it left off, but sometimes if it breaks in the right point, it will then just go on in a different direction when you tell it to continue, or get stuck only writing the first half of the output because it knows it broke in the middle of a word or something, and it's trying to start over to complete it. This is something that can and will be addressed in future tools one way or another though. Like I said, short-term mechanical thing. The second one though goes back to the fake sources bit I talked about. ChatGPT remains very confident in its output, regardless of whether it should be or not. If it imagines a source of information existing online based on what it has deduced should be there, then it will insist that it is and operate under that assumption for its worldview. Without proper critical evaluation, testing, fact-checking, whatever is relevant to your use case of the bot, you could very much be led astray about the information or the steps and not know it because you're not the one who knows these things. Responsible use of the bot is crucial to a healthy experience. It also means that while using the bot and, coaxing hyper-specific results out of it is more accessible than it's ever been, by all means, getting production-ready or final results isn't accessible or super accessible. If I tell it to write me Python code to achieve a task and it errors out, I'll get stuck. I can keep providing it the errors to the bot, giving it the error outputs and try to work through it, and it will explain a lot of those things. But if you're missing fundamentals, you will struggle. As I'm always preaching, technological fundamentals are always important. Personally, I'm not sure if I see a future for myself without a tool like this now. Between the overall functional value I can get from it and my ADHD, it is a game changer. Just imagine all the harebrained ideas that I have that I would typically just jot down and hope to follow up on later. Instead, I can just shout them at a computer, and not only will it keep track of them in the first place for me, but it can do a ton of the boring legwork to actually get those projects started for me and remove even more of that friction. I just get giddy thinking about it. Currently, ChatGPT is only available for free during their research phase, as is usually the case with OpenAI, and it remains to be seen what, end products we might get out of it. And obviously we want the information to continue to be updated in order to be viable. But OpenAI's previous projects have been already led to, amazing text-based tools like Novel AI and AI Dungeon for specific fields, so I can't wait to see what's next. I'll keep researching and waiting to throw money at whatever project lets me connect it to the internet and my personal stuff and interact with it via speech recognition and text-to-speech, so I can just conversationally basically build Jarvis within my own little bubble. AI is changing everything, including creative fields. Click right here to keep learning about how AI is changing the art and creative industry forever, and be kind, rewind.